This is P6, expressing one quantity as a percentage of another quantity. So in the first example, we have 5 kilograms out of 20 kilograms. So what percentage is 5 kilograms out of 20? So to start this, there are a couple of ways and we'll have a look at both of them. So we could write 5 out of 20 as a fraction. We can then simplify this down, or try to simplify this down. In this case, the top and the bottom, the numerator and the denominator, are both divisible by 5. So 5 goes into 5 once, and 5 goes into 20 4 times. So a quarter, we should know that this is 0.25 as a decimal number. And to convert that into a percentage, we times it by 100, so it's 25%. So that's one way you could tackle this problem. The other way you could tackle the problem is write it as a fraction, but instead this time we're going to try and make the bottom number 100. And we do this because we know a percentage literally means a number out of 100. So this will give us the answer quicker. So what do we times this first fraction by to end up with 100 on the bottom? So something times 20 gives you 100. So in this case it's 5. 5 20p's make a pound. So 5 times 20 is 100. 5 times 5 is 25. And as we said, a percentage is a number out of 100. So this represents 25%. And it depends on the numbers which method will be easier. So sometimes you can make the number 100 and sometimes you can't, and the other method will be better. So let's have a look at the bottom example. So we'll start off with the easier method for this question. So we've got the number 50. So we'll write 30 out of 50. And we could try and change that to be a number out of 100. So in this case, this first fraction, if we double it, times it by 2, we'll end up with 100. And we'll end up with 60. So quite quickly, we'll find the answer is 60%. Now, sometimes it might not work out so easily. So let's have a practice at the other way. So 30 divided by 50. And I'm going to cancel this down to 3 over 5. Now, this doesn't look very nice, and certainly not as easy as the other method. So we do know how to divide with the bus stop method. So we're going to have 3, and we're going to see how many 5s go into it. How many 5s go into 3? None. So we have to place down an extra 0 and carry that 3 over. How many 5s go into 30? 6. So we end up with the decimal number 0.6. We times that by 100, and this gives us our 60%. So it all depends on your number. If your number can be made into 100 quite easily, like we did in this example or this example, that will probably be the easiest method. If it can't be made into 100, you'll have to simplify your number, and then you may end up having to do some division, and then you'll times your number by 100. So it does depend on your number, and it requires you to have a think about which method will be the easiest. And that concludes the section on percentages.